The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
10 minutes before 11 o'clock last night, we watched this movie called The Illusionist.
Yes.
And
very good.
And boy, that was a great magician, huh?
Yeah, he was fabulous.
When my son was little, I used to tell him I was a magician. And he would say, no, you're not. And I'd say, no, I really am. And we would be driving in the car, and I'd say, watch this. I can turn this car into a McDonald's. And then I would turn into a McDonald's.
I bet he loved that.
So now that he's grown up, and probably I'm going to be a grandpa one of these days, I need a book about magic. So
yes, you do.
I have one. It's called Grandpa Magic.
Yes, you do. It's all yours.
In this book, I can learn how to hypnotize a napkin. Mm-hmm. How cool is that?
That's very cool.
How to hypnotize, how to bounce a dinner roll. I can bounce a dinner check. Let's see. On the phone, we have the author of the book, Allan Zola. Kronzek is a magician, an educator, and a New York Times best-selling author. His book is awesome. It's called Grandpa Magic. 116 easy tricks, amazing brain teasers, and simple stunts to wow the grandkids. Even how to read minds. Okay, I'm hooked now. Allan Kronzek, good morning, sir. It's an honor to have you on our show.
Good morning, Larry.
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
Sag Harbor, New York.
Sag Harbor?
Eastern Long. Yeah, you know it?
Well,
nice.
I'm from Long Island. That's on Long Island or no?
Yeah, it's in the fashionable Hamptons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to...
I've been here...
The canal is overflowing now, isn't it, or something? The canal right there?
I know we had flooding in Riverhead the other day, and I don't know about the canal, the Shinnecock Canal. You must
That's
be
it.
talking
Yeah,
about.
that's the one. Yeah. I happen to have seen that on Facebook, so that's how I know that. So, are you a grandpa?
Not that I know of. I'm more like a grand uncle. I got tons of cousins and nieces and nephews and their kids. So that's my audience of relatives.
This is so fun. Is the caricature in the book? Is that you?
That's me.
Wow, you look like you have a lot of fun. How did this start for you? How did you start? Did you do magic as a professional?
I never had a stage show. I didn't want to do Las Vegas style magic, but I did make it into a profession by writing about it. And for years, I did school assemblies in which I used magic. One, to teach and talk about scientific method, because science is my other passion. And did another show about the history of magic as a performing art. So that's the kind of performing I would do. There were PowerPoint components to a talk, but then also lots of audience participation in magic. So this would really grab the kids' audience, and I did thousands of shows like that. And then I also do social performing, close-up magic for friends, for families, at parties, at events. And it really was by doing those kind of shows that people would come up to me afterwards and say, "Oh, hey, Alan, that was great. Can you teach me something I can show my grandkids?" And that happened enough that it was my wife who said, "Hey, Alan, there's a book there. Put everything you know about doing stuff for engaging kids and put it in a book." So that was it. Yeah,
oh my
she's very smart.
Instantly, this was a book I wanted to read. Instantly. I don't know why. There's something. And hey, I'm no offense to the ladies, but I think this is a guy thing. Right? I think guys want to know how to do this. I don't know why women aren't interested in doing magic tricks.
Well, because you have the disgusting magic tricks that the kids love, like the nose thing, and I just could never figure out why that was so popular.
Oh yeah.
But it is, I must tell you, it is changing. I teach magic at a summer camp. And so, my students, you have to be 8 to get into the group. So my students are between 8 and 11. And over the past couple of years, I've been doing this for a long time, more and more girls are showing up and wanting to learn magic. even certainly an equal number to boys. And there are a few now female magicians who are getting some attention. So it is changing.
How much of this book, of this 116 tricks, requires skill, like sleight of hand skill? Does it require sleight of hand? Is it like counting? What kind of skills do we need in order to do the tricks?
Both of those things. Everything in the book is relatively easy to do, but I wanted the reader who is new to magic to get a sense of various principles. So there is some sleight of hand for the coin tricks. Most of them require sleight of hand, but it's easy. Not that it doesn't require practice, but the technical part is you can learn to do the technical part very easily. And then what you have to do is usually practice in front of a mirror, do it many, many times, and until it becomes second nature, and then you will fool anybody. So there's that kind. There is counting is involved. There's a couple of mathematical card tricks that absolutely work themselves, but are absolutely amazing. So
that's so cool.
They're all different kinds of approaches.
I have a different kind of a question. What are the rules? For example, should you ever do a trick over?
Usually not, but not always. There are certain tricks that you can do repeatedly and nobody will catch on. But as a general rule, never repeat a trick is one thing you learn as a mantra as a kid. And the reason for that is often if you're doing something sneaky that people don't notice the first time, now that they know what's going to happen, they're going to be on the alert and start looking for something. So there's a way around that, though. If you can repeat the same trick or what appears to be the same trick but use a different method, then you're way ahead. So,
I see. I hear what you're saying, yeah.
Magic is always so up close and personal that it really is a bonding experience.
Absolutely. It's much more interactive, and it's a better way to bond with your grandkid than slipping them a $5 bill.
Oh yeah. I can't. Yeah. So I'm not asking you to tell us how to do them, but what, like the cover says, how to hypnotize a napkin, how to remove your thumb. Wait a minute, I know how to do that. I think.
Yeah, you probably do. There are, some people who do that one well, and some people who don't do it well. But at least we show you the right way to do it. But it is indeed that trick, There's a whole series of things that you just do with your hands. There's a trick like how to shrink your pinky, where you take your pinky and apparently just telescope it into your hand. That looks really weird.
You also have brain teasers and riddles in your book, which is really a great thing.
Yeah, I think of the book as like a giant toy chest stuffed with magic and mysteries and riddles and games and just stuff that you can pull out and use to engage and connect with the grandkids. The riddles are in there mainly for the littler kids, just to produce laughs. Because, do you know this one? Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9.
That's funny.
That's a good one. Oh my gosh.
You've even written a guidebook for the Harry Potter series.
I did. That was a great experience. I wrote that with my daughter. That's called The Sorcerer's Companion. And when I read the Harry Potter books, I realized that J.K. Rowling had done a lot of research. All this stuff about curses and spells and potions and magic wands and magic creatures, all of this stuff has history going back thousands of years, to the ancient world, to ancient Egypt and Babylonia. Now, naturally, J.K. Rowling did not stop her narrative of the story to explain where all this comes from. But having studied all kinds of magic since I was a kid, I recognized all this material. I recognized Nicholas Flamel in the first book actually was a real person. I understood the basis of the Sorcerer's Stone. So we thought, why not write a guidebook giving the reader the real sources of magic lore from mythology, folklore, and real history. So that's what this is. It's like an encyclopedic guide to the Harry Potter books.
Wow, very cool. I found your book on Amazon. Do you have a different website you want to recommend for us?
Well, my website for this book is grandpamagic.net.
Okay.
So just remember you're throwing a net of magic over the kids. GrandpaMagic.net. Once you go there, you will be able to dip into Grandpa Magic book and learn a few tricks. And if you're interested in the Harry Potter book, there's also a look inside feature there where you can read the entries on Mandrake and potions and Grindylows and the Grimm. So you can check out the material and my other books, and there's also a contact page if you want to drop me a line. I'm happy to hear from anybody. So GrandpaMagic.net, that'll do it.
Very cool. Yes, this is a great time of year, by the way, for this book, because Thanksgiving, Christmas, you're going to be with a bunch of kids. Get the book and just be everybody's going to, one of those smart alecky kids, is going to say, I know how you did that, and you gotta have some skills with that too. Hey, thank you for being on the air with us, Allan.
Oh man, thanks for having me.
That was fun. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. Police have found the body of a 71-year-old man in a drain pipe in southwest Ocala. The man, who had poor vision and dementia, had been missing since October 10th. More than 50 horses have been removed from a farm in Lake